Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, AJ2OneLove, here and set for AEW Revolution 2023 pay-per-view review. Yes, I'm here. Yes, unfortunately, it sucks that the black and white is still here, the problem, but for sure, hopefully it gets fixed soon. But nonetheless, I told you guys I'd be here for your review for either today or tomorrow. Alas, you don't have to wait. Because stayed up late last night to get the highlights for Revolution, and thus Revolution. It was a very good pay-per-view. I must say, look, thing with Revolution, we knew that the build-up and the lead-in was not that good. Left to be desired. But hopefully now, because Tony Khan, he looks at the criticisms and whatnot, so hopefully he sees everything and realizes, okay, well, put more emphasis maybe on the stories, because we had a few matches where the stories were there and it helped culminate with great matches. And I mean, with Revolution, the flow was great. Matches, top to bottom, from Ricky Starks, Chris Jericho to start. We had the trios match with House Black and the Elite, finishing with the 1 hour Ironman match between MJF and Bryan Danielson, which went to sudden death overtime. It was a fun pay-per-view that flowed well, and hopefully now, because it tends to be a case, with a few AEW pay-per-views where Tony Khan will stack the card, with double-digit matches, maybe 10 or more. Last week got 8 on the main card, and it was fun. Like, flowed better. The match itself fit well. Besides one that kind of got the short end of the stick. I'm sure you guys can figure out which one. But nonetheless, before I get into everything on Revolution, thank you for joining me. Of course, if you're new or not, click the subscription down at the bottom corner, and access all my videos on the channel, as well as click that bell to see when I actually go live for all notifications. But with that out of the way, let's get into it. Shall we? So, oh crap. My charger, my phone. 1 sec. Because I got my notes. 1 sec. And let's get sweet. Alright, here we go. Alright, so Revolution. Start off with solid opener. Ricky Starks vs. Chris Jericho. This was a good match to open, and while the story and the build-up could have been better, we know the thing here with Starks and Jericho. Starks, coming out of that match with MJF, which he came up short. He got in the feud with Jericho. He beat Jericho in Seattle to start the year. And then, they've been prolonging this feud, and ultimately, it seems like with JS action Andretti that ultimately this feud is hopefully over, and both Jericho and Starks to move on to other things. But yeah, this is the matched up and show. Although there was a wrinkle in this match that quite was confusing. So, Starks had his ribs taped based on the events of the attacks last week. But Starks was battling out latent strikes early for both guys. Starks his seat on the outside. Again, dangerous when you factor in the ribs. But Jericho then starting to take advantage. Starks was sent to the barricade a couple times. Jericho even applied a abdominal stretch in the middle of the ring. One of the oldest submissions, but still a great submission in the book. To work on torso and the rib cage. Starks managed to get separation. He hit DT, tornado DT top rope. Jericho then back on the ribs, hit a Death Valley driver for a near fall. Jericho went for a code breaker. Starks countered to a powerbomb. And then, great spot of the match. Ricky went for a spear, but Jericho countered in midair and delivered a code breaker for a good near fall. Starks then finally managed to hit a spear, but only for a near fall. Now, Starks got walked into the walls Jericho, but then countered to a single leg crab. Now, here's the wrinkle. So, the stipulation for this match was JS was banned from ringside. So, Sammy Guevara, he was out there. Now, he did not really get to ringside, but so the fact that he was able to go out there, was so and so, but Andrade hopped on a barricade, speared Guevara, took him out. 7 minutes left, 1-on-1. Aubrey got distracted. Jericho hit Starks in the baseball, or in the ribs with the baseball bat. One for the juice effect. Starks blocked. Then finally hit the Rochambeau. 1, 2, 3, and Ricky Starks gets another nod over Chris Jericho. And what Ricky Starks said at the Mia Scrum was apparently Ricky Starks first win on pay-per-view for AEW. So, yeah, that is a bit of a surprise. But, Ricky, he has that star power, and, look, he's one of the guys that, look, he's great on the mic, and he's solid in the ring. Should be a showcase guy week in, week out for your roster. And, of course, the challenge is that MJF is going to hold that title till at least next year. So, to prioritize Ricky and get his momentum, keep going, is definitely going to be something to look forward to. But, Ricky, they were able to find him with Jericho, so I'm sure they'll be able to find him to do something else. And who knows, maybe they'll venture down to... I don't want to see Ricky lose twice to MJF, but maybe they can find some loophole in it. Maybe we'll see, but nonetheless, good win for Starks on pay-per-view to open the show. The final burial. Jack Perry versus Christian Cage. This was unique in the sense of this was one of the matches that the story, again, was there, and the match just followed through on it. Now, Christian Cage, unfortunately, tore his tricep last year, and that put a dent in this feud. But when Christian returned weeks ago, they were able to dip back in this feud, and this match was very much needed and great for Jack Perry, and Christian Cage is a great heel. What more could say? So this match to really tie up the loose end of this feud was great to see. Great to see. With the spin on it of the casket match and a very live match was unique. And it was just fun. Especially towards the end. So they were fighting into the crowd, got back in the ring. Ultimately, though, so they were fighting in the rampway near the casket. And then Christian took off Jungle Boy's belt after Jungle Boy took a spill on the steps, which had to have sucked. And then he just whipped him with his belt. And JR said best about Jungle Boy's back. And Christian managed to get busted open off a headbutt. So they wanted near the casket, and conveniently there were some steel chairs in the casket for Christian Cage. Jack Perry managed to dive off the stage onto Christian as his mother and sister watch on. Christian hit a low blow and then went for the kill switch. Finally, he went for the concerto, but he missed. Jungle Boy, or Jack, whichever you want to call him, Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Perry walked in the snare trap with the shovel up against Christian Cage's mouth. Christian was out, and Jack Perry shoved him in the casket and then closed the lid, and then the way just went down and the puff of smoke. I mean, that was good. Good sequence for and he hit the concerto, my bad. But Christian was in the casket, and then there was that. So great stuff here. Jack Perry and Ricky Starks right off the bat. I mean, you have two strong baby faces who need to be moving up in the card, but it's gonna be tricky because, like I just said about MJF, and with the result tonight of Wardlow winning the TNT title back from Joe, I mean, it puts things in a dicey situation for these mid-card baby faces that are just looking for direction now after their feuds. So it's certainly a question of where they go from here. But great match nonetheless, and I'm down to see another final burial match in AEW when it happens. Obviously not a regular occurrence, but yeah. And then this match was just fun. Just however you want to say it, fun. The House of Black versus the Elite just was very fun. Again, the story wasn't great going in this match, or pretty much second to none, or little to none, as in story going in this match. But this match was great. The reaction of it was great. I mean, all six guys brought it as expected, and loved the outcome. I mean, House of Black, and it's a mixed bag because look, the Elite went into that 7-match series to get the titles from Death Triangle, and almost 2 months after winning the titles in Escalera de la Muerte. They lose the titles after pretty much no story. First, the House of Black. So, I don't know. But it's great to see House of Black get their due. It's just, of course, you will want them to have a story behind it. That's the thing. But this match brought it, and yeah, I have no complaints about the match person. That's the thing. So, yeah, this is fun. Saw 6 guys. Broly, of course, played a big part in this match with his power. Kane at the Rise of the Terminator. Nick actually held 450 on Broly for a 1 count. Julia Hart played a factor in this match as well. She actually got a V-trigger by Kenny for her efforts. Took her out for the rest of the match. Black hit Black Mass, or I'm not sure what the exact name of the roundless kick is for in AEW, but Black Mass by Aleister Black or Malachi to Omega for near fall was broken up. They also said Dante's Inferno, but again, only for 2. Big Bad Brody King, he actually is Suicida, which took out both the Young Bucks on the outside. And then the Young Bucks and the Elite fired back with super kicks. Hit a BT trigger on Malachi for 2. They then went for the Meltzer driver, but in midair, Nick Jackson got wiped out with a huge knee by Matthews. And then Matt Jackson was left alone. Got Black Mass and then Dante's Inferno. 1, 2, 3, and we have new trios champions in AEW. The House of Black. And great to see. I think Brody King's son was actually in the ring briefly. And nice little moment. Again, those 3 guys, had a great reaction and direction where we go from here. Hopefully they do get some direction because it's been so and miss at getting the victory over the Elite. You can only hope. But for the Elite, it's interesting because now it's like the Young Bucks could be needed in the tag team division, really, how it's been set. And Omega, we know, is great, former champion, and can be a single competitor again in the main event picture. So we'll see how it goes, but great for the house, and hopefully we get some actual direction going from here for all these 6. Oops. What happened? I accidentally clicked on something about... Oh, there you go. Where's my notes? Oh. Okay, good. Triple threat up now for the AEW Women's Championship. Saraya versus Ruby Soho versus Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's Championship. This match felt... Now again, it was probably the highlights, but this match felt quick. Just from my perspective, but I mean, it was alright. I mean, like I said about the previous match, the story going into it wasn't great. It was very suspect, but this match was okay in the sense. So Jamie Hayter, or excuse me. So Toni Storm and Britt Baker were at ringside. Hayter hit a Uranagi to Saraya on the apron. Part made me cringe a little bit because we know it's Saraya and her neck. But, you know, I guess she's getting more comfortable as far as those spots. So I had a bit of an advantage. She had an SCO on Hayter for a near fall. Saraya locked in a submission on Soho. Ultimately, though, Hayter locked in a crucifix on Soho 1, 2, 3, and she retains the AEW Women's Championship. Afterwards, a brawl ensued with all the women. Soho looked like she was helping Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. And then Hayter raised the arm of Soho, and then all of a sudden get a Pele kick, knocking out Jamie Hayter, and then we get like a 3-on-1 attack on Britt Baker. And after these couple weeks, it seems we finally figure out where Ruby Soho aligns with the outsiders per se, and Saraya and Toni Storm. Now, the spray paint is still crappy. I mean, we still need a explanation about why Toni Storm and Saraya are against the homegrown AEW talent. We'll see. I mean, match was okay, the story was in, and the finish was okay. Okay, but we'll see. The next match, you know, I can tell it was very controversial for many sensitive people on social media. Very controversial. But man, was it crazy and fun. Hangman Page and Jon Moxley, Texas Deathmatch. You know, I get it. Moxley pretty much bleeds in every match these days. He pretty much does. And I get the argument, you know, if you bleed every match, it's not going to be deemed as important. But with the violence in this match, it was just crazy, and if anything, it added an element to Hangman Page. Hangman, last year in Hangman's title reign, he had 2 Texas death matches with Lance Archer and Adam Cole. And, this one as well really shows a hardcore and a serious or dangerous side of Hangman Page. An extra element. And, with a win like this, it's only going to propel him, and both guys won't be the same after this match. So, yeah, all I can say is, geez and yikes. That's all I can say. But I'm going to try to go over this match best I can. But, all the spots in there was just crazy. So, first off, Hangman has a new theme song, which I would say fits. It does fit him. Still the cowboy, and it certainly fits, I feel. But yeah, this match started in the crowd, got back in the ring, barbed wire. Didn't take long to be installed. Hangman actually tried tying it around his boot and tried doing the stomps to Moxley's face, but had difficulties with barbed wire. Moxley was busted open. There was a fork involved. Hangman was busted open. There was a barbed wire wrapped chair installed, which Hangman went headfirst in, which was wedged in between the turnbuckles. At one point, Hangman actually wrapped himself in barbed wire and did his moonsault off the top on the Moxley. I'd say weird, creative way to use barbed wire in Texas Deathmatch, but that's Hangman Page for you. Moxley actually got some bricks and a chain. Tried stomping Hangman's hand in between the bricks to nullify the buckshot lariat. And then there was a barbed wire boards. There were a couple set up on the outside. Hangman hit a dive which sent Moxley into one. And then there was another where Hangman was sent off the top onto another barbed wire board on the outside, but Hangman got up. Ultimately, Moxley hit a paradigm shift and then hit a curb stomp on the Hangman's head into one of the bricks. But Hangman somehow got from that. And ultimately, Moxley, kind of his own undoing. He wrapped the big chain around him, and then Hangman hit a buckshot lariat, which sent Moxley to the outside, but Hangman got grip of the chain, and then just the visual, Moxley hanging outside the ring, and then had no choice but to tap out, and Hangman got the victory in this Texas Death Match. So Hangman was kind of the Hangman in this match and got the victory. I mean, what a finish. If there was ever a time for Moxley to go on his vacation, it'd be after this match. But I doubt he will. Jeez. What a match. What a crazy fight. Pretty much. So then we got the TNT title match, which was a good match, but unfortunately, coming after that Texas Death Match, the crowd seemingly was a bit gassed, or I would say deflated is another term. And took away the momentum, I guess, of this match. Now, dare I say again, the story, but all in all, it was a good match. Wardlow. So Wardlow, so a bit surprising. A guy that size doing the senton or swanton. Hit off the top rope for a 2 count. He actually hit a powerbomb out of the corner. Joe hit, landing some strikes. But ultimately, kind of coming off guard, Wardlow, he walked in a rear naked choke with the hooks in, and Samoa Joe passed out. So seemingly using one of Joe's moves to beat him. And I guess this was their way of protecting Joe, him passing out. Again, with the TNT title, look, we love Wardlow, but Samoa Joe has been the best thing for the TNT title recently. So, to take the title not off of Wardlow, who, again, he had great momentum last year going into summer, and then wins TNT title, do nothing with him, and then he loses That's the other thing with the consensus about the TNT title. Okay, Joe won it at Full Gear. Darby won it in Seattle to start the year. We haven't seen him. Joe won it back. And a no holds barred match when Darby was having a great month with the title. And now Wardlow wins that title back. I mean, and the thing is, you got Powerhouse Hobbs, who they had a little interaction at the Midas room. Hobbs, he won the Face the Revolution ladder match on Wednesday, and is gonna face Wardlow on Wednesday, and already you're in a predicament because the match is gonna be on Wednesday. Instead of building towards the match again, but here we are. And I feel bad for Wardlow. It's just, he should be in a much better position. And, where does Joe go from here? I don't know, but we'll see. I hope we still see Joe. I would love for Joe to lose that TV title for Ring of Honor and get back to AEW, because he suits best on AEW television. So then we got this 4-way tag team title match, which wasn't bad. Kind of decent towards the end, but with all the theatric, said best, it should have been the Guns and the Acclaimed. And the thing now was with FTR returning after this match, it's a different dynamic. Because you could have had. Oh, first I'll get into the match first, and then I'll explain afterwards. So, again, theatrics mostly. Not much to be said. So, Caster and mic drop for a near fall. Bowens was taken out by Colton. Jarrett hit the stroke on Caster for a near fall. But ultimately, Danhausen getting some advantage, and then Guns hit assisted flatliner. Kind of looked like the big rig on Danhausen for the win, and the Guns retain AEW tag team titles. Afterwards, it looked like Renee was about to interview the Guns, and then FTR's music plays, and FTR is back. It's great. It's great to have FTR back. There was obviously speculation about will they return, off this break, but seeing them back now fully commits, and it's great. And already you got a built-in feud with FTR and the Guns, because of course the Guns beat FTR late last year, so already got a feud going here. But I think you'll know what I'm about to say. So, okay. It should have been just... Well, I kind of get it in this sense. So, should have been just the Guns and the Acclaimed. With Billy Gunn ultimately realigning with his sons. Okay, there's that. You align two teams. Now you make it a 4-way match. Okay, fine. Then you had two teams ultimately are two teams that are not really tag teams in this division. Let's see. And then okay, so what happens next? So the Guns win, and they hit a low blow on their dad. So clearly they weren't rejoining on Sunday. So I mean, by all accounts, Billy Gunn is still with the Acclaimed. And now FTR is back jogging for the tag team titles. So, we'll see. Maybe they do off of this. Maybe the Acclaim can just say, well, you didn't beat us at the pay-per-view. You beat Danhausen. So, perhaps we then get, say, the Guns and the Acclaim. That happens. And then we probably get the Guns and FTR at Double or Nothing. That's the thought. But I mean, I do kind of get that I mean, I do understand it a bit why they do. I mean, if FTR returning on Sunday was the plan, then maybe it was fine not to have the heel turn by Billy, because then it would have been overshadowed by the return of FTR and the heat and all that. The Guns win. I mean, I understand that little part, okay, but still a few questions. Who gets the first crack? Probably the Acclaim, because FTR just got back, and their last match on TV was losing to the Guns. So, there's that. But we'll see. Alright, main event time. Main events. I'm almost 50 minutes in, and gotta talk about this 1 hour Ironman match now. Oh boy. But let's see. So, this Ironman match was fun, really fun. Yes, more blood in this match, but it's 60 minutes, and Bryan Danielson was involved, so you knew that he was looking for the best possible match he could get with MJF, and this match delivered. It's kind of ironic that I now am drinking water because of what happened that match with so MJF, we know he can be kind of a dick. So in the little parts of this match, MJF went outside, took this, or in the crowd, took this drink from a mom, and then threw it at her kid. Now, obviously, there's, backlash. Was he a plant? Was he not? Nonetheless, there was back and forth at the media scrum. People say that, Tony Khan said he's going to be at Dynamite this Wednesday, and then he got to meet with his favorite wrestler, Powerhouse Hobbs. So, look, regardless, it happened, and as far as heel work, it's what MJF does. It's what MJF does. But, yeah. But this match had a bunch going into it, and for those who critique MJF in the ring, how he did wrestling over an hour with the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. This was very good, very good. So, I mentioned the incident with the kid. Bryan, which, by the way, hell of an entrance by MJF. Bryan had tape on his shoulder, still selling the shoulder link in this match. So, Bryan is suicida. Still kind of favoring the shoulder. So, MJF hits some moves, like arm capture, suplex, etc. Same with a DDT. So ultimately, Bryan hit a bicycle knee on MJF. 1, 2, 3 for the first fall. Okay, so Bryan's up 1-0. And then a couple minutes after, it looked like Bryan was going for another, but MJF collapsed, then hit a low blow on Bryan, which then MJF was disqualified, so Bryan's up 2-0. And then all of a sudden, MJF hits one near fall, one close or early pinfall. So then 2-1. And then MJF is like, okay, well, I just got a pinfall out of that, so try again. 1, 2, 3. And all of a sudden we're tied 2-2. So, I like that. Because we see many times in Ironman matches that a wrestler or someone will get a pinfall and then take their time, or there's like a breathing period in between. And this time around, MJF took advantage, and right after, it was a risky play, going down 2-0, but in the sense that he was able to tie it back up, worked out well. And then crazy stuff here. Bryan was set up on the announce table on the outside, or timekeeper's table. MJF hit a big diving elbow off the top, and Bryan got back in the ring before 10. MJF then hit a tombstone on the rest of the table on the outside, and then hit a heat seeker pile driver in the ring for the win. So then now MJF is up 3-2. So then MJF was busted open. I didn't see how, but then MJF or Bryan with 10 minutes left, the psycho knee, and then locked in the regal stretch. MJF had nowhere to go with blood going down his face, tapped out, and then we're tied again at 3-3 with 10 minutes left. So Bryan was doing what he could, locked in submission attempts, all in all, and ultimately the time expired. So it's like, okay, they're ultimately a draw. So this is interesting. So they were checking on both guys in the ring, and then you know something's up because Tony Schiavone was smiling. So he went down to Justin Roberts and announced that Tony Khan told Tony that they're gonna go to sudden death now. So all the guys that were checking on them in the ring cleared out, and then okay, Bryan and MJF and Aubrey. So here we go. So Bryan walked in a single leg Boston Crab. MJF got to the ropes. So it's like, okay. Bryan thought he won. And then when he goes to check on MJF on the outside, so one of the people that were checking on MJF in the ring had an oxygen tank. So Aubrey was distracted and didn't see it. MJF clocked Bryan in the head with the oxygen tank, and Bryan was out. And then MJF locked on the label lock. Bryan couldn't see, and he was half knocked out. So ultimately, Bryan tapped out to his own move, and MJF scores the fourth, or should I say seventh, and deciding fall, and takes it 4-3, and retains the AEW World Championship over an hour, wrestling with the American Dragon Bryan Danielson. What a Ironman match! What more needs to be said other than MJF? It's better than people give credit for. And anyone who still critiques MJF as a wrestler has a problem. They have a problem. But, yeah, all in all, despite the build, it was still one hell are one of the best AEW pay-per-views we've certainly seen, and hopefully now we'll see how the Fallout show goes and how Tony Khan, when we get to Double or Nothing, we don't want to have the incident that we're building up to this, in the sense that we want some build, we want some story leading up to the matches leading up, and there are few on the card. The main event, Hangman and Moxley, Chris Cage, Jungle Boy, but still need some clarity on that. But nonetheless, great pay-per-view. Very solid. We had some great matches all across the board. My two least favorites were obviously TNT title match and women's title match. But all in all, it was a great show, top to bottom. And yeah, another solid homer by AEW. But nonetheless, thank you for joining me. If you like this video, click that like button at the bottom of the screen, in the bottom of the corner. But anywho, I made Joe True Love. Hope you guys enjoy this. See you guys back later this week for AEW Dynamite review. So thank you all. Be safe. Peace.